I wanted to make a quick video going over the Wusthof Ikon and the Shun Premier lines, specifically the 8-inch chef's knife. As you guys know, these are both the highest tier lines these companies make, with the exception of some of their more limited edition knives they only sell in small quantities, so it's the perfect comparison between the two. Off the bat, I definitely think that the Premier is probably the better choice in terms of a cost to value standpoint, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But let's discuss the similarities. Both of these knives are handmade, both are forged, and both have relatively similar angles. The Shun is a 16-degree angle, and the Wusthof is an even thinner, even sharper 14-degree angle. But both are blisteringly sharp. It's just a matter of the fact that the Wusthof is insanely sharp. The next thing to discuss, though, is the actual steel they make the knives with. Shuns use VG Max, which, as you all know, VG10 is the gold standard of the knife making world. It is very hard, it's very resilient, and it holds an edge very, very well. VG Max is Shun's answer to that, and it's just a little bit better. It's harder, it's more resilient, it holds an edge even better, which really comes into play here because at 16 degrees and 14 degrees, you're really looking to keep that really, really sensitive edge staying sharp. It's thinner, so it gets impacted much easier. They then take it one step further, and they wrap either side in 34 layers of stainless steel, which number one gives you this gorgeous Damascus pattern on the bottom, but number two, it makes it very resilient to stains and rust and pitting and things like that. And then they go even one more step further, and they do a hammered finish on the top half of the blade, which has two purposes. Number one, it looks beautiful, but number two, it also helps food release from the blade and make it easier to work with. By contrast, the Ikon is their own proprietary metal. It's a 58 hardness, which is much softer, and on top of that, they don't do anything special to the blade. It's just a forged blade. And the reason the 58 hardness matters is because it's an even thinner blade than the Shun, which means it's much more delicate, and the softer the metal, the more likely it is to bend or to get dull and flattened out. So you will end up needing to sharpen this and to hone this and to just do general maintenance much more often, and it is going to get dull faster. With that said, both knives have full tangs all the way to the end. The Wusthof has this extra bit of material here, so it adds a nice heft to it and sort of makes it fall into your hand as you're working with it, which is really nice. And on top of that, they have wildly dissimilar handles. On the one hand, the Wusthof uses black plastic, just regular black plastic. The Shun uses brown pakkawood, which is a very, very hard, very dense wood that's then filled with resin and compressed, so it's almost impervious to any sort of staining and water damage and things like that, and it looks gorgeous, I think. And the design of the knives is a little bit different too. You'll see that the handle for the Shun is a very, very sort of simplistic handle. It's symmetrical. It has this extra bulge of material right here to sort of fit into your palm as you're doing a pinch grip. But other than that, it feels very, very comfortable, but it's nothing to write home about. The handle on the Ikon, however, is really designed to be as comfortable as humanly possible. It feels like however you hold the knife, it really just folds into your hand and makes it feel like an extension of your arm. With that said, both knives have lifetime warranties, but the Shun also comes with lifetime free sharpening, which I've always thought is a deal breaker. The reason is, if you guys are actually sending your knife to a reputable sharpener who does it by hand, it's going to cost you roughly $5 per inch of the blade to sharpen it. So the end result is that with 8-inch knives like this, you're looking at about $40 at a minimum to sharpen the blade, and even then you don't know what the result's going to be. Are you going to get a great edge on the knife, or are you going to be one of the horror stories that we always hear about? With Shun, you send it to Shun, they look at the knife. If they see any problems, what they're going to do is throw it away and send you a brand new knife. But otherwise, you can rest easy knowing that they're going to put the exact same edge back on the knife that you first fell in love with when you got it the first time, and they're going to do it for free. I think that really it's a no-brainer, especially considering the fact that it's free. And at the end of the day, it really comes down to what you like. If you like a heavier, more German-style knife, the Ikon is really the best German knife you can get. If you prefer a Japanese knife that's thinner and more nimble, the Shun Premier is a phenomenal knife, and it's actually the one that I use at home for the most part. I'll put a link down to both below. I definitely think that all things considered, especially considering the fact these are both in the same price range, the Shun Premier wins out. It has better steel, The steel is wrapped 34 times in stainless steel. It has a hammered finish. It has a brown pakkawood handle, and it comes with free lifetime sharpening. And I think that just makes it really a no-brainer to get the Premier, as long as you like the design and you like the lighter, more nimble Japanese knives. So either way, let me know if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon.